going on, guys? It's K-Dub here with another episode of CryptoZombie. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having an awesome day today. Having a look at Bitcoin, we are yet again trying to push again to the upside. Every single time Bitcoin takes a little bit of a dip, consolidates, then we try to push up again. We are at some crucial levels. Now, having a look very short term, you can see right here, we actually have been stomped out by this resistance once, twice, and a third time again over the weekend. So do we have enough to break through this? Are the bulls strong enough? Now, I know a lot of people think that Bitcoin may have topped out. We're due for a major correction. I did speak about a potential pullback that we could have before the blast off. But in today's video, what I want to focus on is the fact that we are 100% in a bull run. I am going to show you today, if you're shorting Bitcoin for the long term, it's probably not a good decision. If you want to make some scalps, fine. But I'm going to show you why we are definitely in a bull run. I want to talk about why a new all-time high is actually possible this year. Most people were saying it's not going to happen until the beginning of maybe next year, but I'm going to show you why it could actually happen even sooner than you think. Now, one thing I want to point out is a potential seller shortage. You can see this article right here from Joseph Young says Bitcoin exchange reserves plunge as BitMEX is bleeding Bitcoin. Bitcoin exchange reserves are continuously plummeting as analysts pinpoint the trend to a potential shortage of sellers. But this is just one of the aspects, okay? I want to talk about the record institutional exposure and show you 4 specific on-chain data sets that we can look at actually on chain that show us that we are in a bull trend and that Bitcoin could be looking for that all-time high even sooner than we had originally thought. Now, on top of that, if you mix it with also the fact that you have, for example, IMF declaring Bretton Woods dead, this kind of seems like the perfect storm for Bitcoin to prevail. So that is what we're going to talk about today. Also, super quick, major shout out to MF Graffiti Art. You can see over here, official collaboration with the CryptoZombie. Now, in all fairness, I really had nothing to do with this. This was 100% MF Graffiti Art. He reached out to me and said, hey, do you mind if I, use your image for some NFTs? I said, sure, why not? So if you guys want, you can actually get some CryptoZombie official Genesis Edition NFTs over at Rarible. But like I said, that is 100% MF Graffiti Art. So shout out to you. Thank you so much. Also, if you are not subscribed, guys, we make these videos every single day, except for yesterday. So I guess I shouldn't say every single day. Almost every single day. Yesterday, I had a lot of stuff to do. Also, nothing really happened, but we do have a lot to talk about. So I've been talking too much. Reason you're here is because of the charts. Let's dive in. So, having a look right here, you will notice that we are still struggling with the top of this blue box zone. Now, I have not changed this zone since we got into it, and you can see the critical, not critical, but I mean, every time we fall back into it, Bitcoin instantly gets pulled back up, right? So anywhere above or in this blue zone is still bullish for me, short to mid-term. I did point this out in the beginning of the video, though. We have hit the top of this channel 3 times. Now, keep in mind, this is on the 4-hour. If you just zoom out right here and have a look, Bitcoin is well above this previous trend. We're actually having this resistance acting as support, where right here, it was kind of like a bit of a, we had this little mini rally and we fell below it, but up here, it's actually acted as support. We had a bounce once, twice, 3, 4. Okay, so I do think this is actually showing that structurally, Bitcoin is definitely in a bullish trend. You can see right here, many weeks we have been supported. Now, keep in mind, this was resistance back here during the Black Swan event, right? We couldn't get above it. And now this trend line is acting as our support. This is traditionally a very bullish thing for any asset, and obviously for Bitcoin specifically. So the fact that back here we couldn't get above these levels for over a month and a half, then we broke above it, and ever since then it's literally acted as the bottom, right? So it is possible that we could continue to consolidate, even sitting around the $12,000 level all the way out till November. But, by December, the first week of December, we are looking for a major break. But we do know historically that Bitcoin usually doesn't get to the end of the trend, right? It usually breaks out somewhere around the 75 or 70% to like 85% completion, and that's exactly where we are right now. We are perfectly in that level. Now, I know I talked my analysis, but looking at what some others are saying too, they have their own opinions. Now, Bitcoin Jack Sparrow, he called the V-shaped bounce that we had. I got to give him credit, right? And he's expecting range-bound price action for a couple of days to eventually expand into the end of the month. And he's also looking at a potential break towards the 12,000 level. And once we break that level, he's saying we could easily get up to $13,200, right? Also, talking about Mohit Sarat, he says, is this the calm before the storm? If Bitcoin was to break out today, it would most probably reach its previous all-time high of 20K within 3 months, which means it could possibly happen by the end of this year. Then, lots of people are saying, well, what market, where are we in the market cycle? This is sort of a joke, disbelief. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. And it's true because, it's really difficult to change your perspective, right? When everything is pumping, when everything is going up, when all the markets are exploding and everybody's making 5x, 10x gains, and then price starts to pull back, people can't believe that it's actually time to sell, right? Because now you get into that bull mode. And the same thing goes for bears. Now, Bitcoin has had an insane bear market for quite some time, right? I mean, we basically had the blow off top in 2017 and continued to go down for over a year and a half. And most people just the whole time could not believe that we were in a bear market. But now that we flipped bullish, these people have been scarred. I mean, I've been scarred a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, that was a rough time. If you're new to crypto, congratulations, you missed the hard times. But sometimes it is hard to believe it. But guys, believe it. We are in a bull trend right now. I'm not talking about, you said we're going to go bullish and like in 24 hours from this video, Bitcoin dumps 10%. I don't care about a 10%, 20%, 30% dump. The macro trend is bullish. And if you have a look at the Wall Street cheat sheet, haven't brought this up in a while, this basically shows you the different levels of the market: hope, optimism, belief, thrill, euphoria, complacency, anxiety, denial, panic, capitulation, anger, depression, and then disbelief, which is this is a sucker's rally, which is what most people think is happening right now. But keep in mind, if you take the disbelief and put it here, it's basically the beginning of the bottom of a new cycle. And if we have a look right here at the Bitcoin chart, do you not think that we've had that euphoria, we've had that despair, and now we're having that rally for disbelief leading into the next major blow off top, potential parabolic bull run of 2021, maybe even the end of this year starting it? Have a look right here. Most people couldn't believe when we broke out of the trend. This purple line represents the halving, and from peak right here, where we had the close of the candle on the weekly, down here we wicked up, it became resistance here again, and as soon as we broke through in July, we had a massive blast off, and we are sitting not only above the downward sloping resistance of, the main close, we're also sitting above all major resistances on the regular chart, and I think on the log chart too. Yeah, on both of the charts. It doesn't really matter how you look at this chart. We're sitting above all three of these major resistances. How is that not bullish? How is that not bullish? I mean, for people to still be bearish right now, it's blowing my mind. I'm seeing some people like, oh, I'm so bearish on Bitcoin. You're bearish on Bitcoin? Bitcoin started out as $7,200 in January. We had an insane black swan crash to low 3,000s, and yet Bitcoin is sitting above $11,000 at the time of making this video. How is that bearish? Am I missing something here? Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. But like Cantor and Clark said, the all-time high was a blow-off top. So now it's more of a psychological level than anything else. Right here, especially if you're looking at the volume range, the most but the most traded volume-wise level for Bitcoin is what matters based on how the price has been distributed over time. So that's why I always say you got to zoom out. You got to look at the macro picture. And like Plan B says, and I know I'm not going to get into stock to flow, people have their opinions on that. But he says, why does Bitcoin price not go up with all this institutional buying? Who is selling? Bitcoin price is exactly where it should be, holding firm above the $10,000 level, waiting for that one moment. Asymmetrical returns, patience. And you could see right here, we're perfectly on trend for where we should be. If you look at this one actually got really crazy back in 2012, 2013, 2014. But having a look at this, you do have that slow sort of curve before you have the massive blow off. And keep in mind, as the market matures, as Bitcoin gets a higher market cap, it takes more capital to move the Bitcoin, and you have slower cycles than you did the last time, right? And after this cycle, the next cycle is going to get slower, and the cycle after that is going to get slower, which means you're going to have to be more patient. You're going to have to put in more time, right? So that is just something that we need to point out. Now, before I get into the 4 reasons why it's extremely bullish for Bitcoin on-chain, let's talk about data from Arcane Research that shows that Backed Bitcoin Exchange saw another record high from September to October. This follows a noticeable rise in institutional demand for Bitcoin from public companies in the recent months. You also down here can see that we have LMAX, CME futures, as well as Backed, all showing that the institutional market is growing rapidly. It's literally growing in virtually every single exchange out there, okay? So that is what I wanted to mention. Now, discussing what blockchain analytics firm CryptoQuant pointed out, they say 100%, and I'm pretty much in agreement with this, that Bitcoin remains in a macro bull trend. Here are their 4 reasons, and this is due to on-chain trends. This is stuff that we can actually go into the blockchain, we can monitor it, we can see it with our own eyes. It's not guessing, it's not like, oh, the institutions are coming. No, this is really stuff you can see. Number 1, we have the exchange whale ratio, which tracks how much Bitcoin, big Bitcoin whale holders have deposited on exchanges. And right now it's at one of the lowest levels we have seen. It's actually at the lowest level since 2018, which suggests that there is a minimal amount of selling pressure right now. The whales are not looking to sell. They just spent the last 10 months accumulating. They are holding. They are waiting for that opportunity to cash out. And if they were going to do it, they would have done it already. Bitcoin wouldn't be going sideways if they were going to do it, right? Number 2, we have the amount of Bitcoin that miners are sending to exchanges is currently at its lowest level since March of 2017. This suggests that on-chain balances, this suggests that on balance why can't I read this? This suggests that on balance, miners think, that Bitcoin will appreciate and thus aren't hedging their holdings by selling coins. So they're holding. They think it's going to go higher. Also, miner reserves have been dropping rapidly, suggesting they have little ammo to dump. Obviously, after the halving, we had a lot of miners get hit. Let's be honest. Although the halving is a great event for hodlers, it's not a great event for miners short term. These miners now, they're putting in the same amount of effort. They're using the same amount of electricity, but yet they're getting half the amount of Bitcoin, right? Now we're finally having that sort of balance, right? So finally, also on top of that, the market cap of stable coins has absolutely exploded over the recent months. And you might be asking yourself, well, what does this have to do with Bitcoin? Well, this suggests that there is money on the sidelines to purchase Bitcoin and other crypto assets. And a lot of these big players could be waiting to pounce into the market, right? Which I think a lot of them have already gotten in, but there's always going to be those laggards. And, for us, we say it's a lot, but really, how many really? We're talking about 13, 14 publicly traded companies. It's a lot for us little guys in the Bitcoin space, but really, globally, there is a lot more money that could come into the space. Now, one person who's extremely bullish is the founder and CEO of one of the largest independent financial advisories in the world. And he says that Bitcoin's close of 2020 could look like the epic boom of 2017. Now, am I seeing a massive blow off top like we did in 2017, the end of this year? Not really. Could we get over 20K? Yes, but are we going to have that crazy 10x boom in like a month? I'm not saying it's not possible. I just don't think it's going to happen based on what's going on right now with all the uncertainties politically. But getting back to what Nigel Green said, now keep in mind, De Beers Group is 12 billion assets under management. He says that Bitcoin is poised to surge before the end of this year. He says there's a growing sense that we're set to experience a mini boom similar to that at the end of 2017. Prices are yet to catch up with investor interest, but this is only a matter of time as investors will not want to sleepwalk towards perhaps year-end prices in the run-up to the end of this year. There's been something of an avalanche of interest in Bitcoin in recent weeks from household name investors. Investor activity is picking up considerably with various on-chain metrics and ongoing and heightening global political, economic, and social turbulence, suggesting that there will be a price surge before the end of the year. And just talking about this article that came out from Trust Knows, the IMF have declared Bretton Woods dead. In fact, Kristalina Georgieva, I don't really follow these political people, sorry. The IMF managing director at Washington, D.C. has effectively declared that Bretton Woods financial system set up after the Second World War has finally finished. And as we continue to see all of this collapse and crumble around us, how can you not think to yourself that, maybe Bitcoin just might be the best bet? Not to be exposed to Bitcoin, not to have a little bit of Bitcoin in your portfolio is arguably the irresponsible thing to do today, right? So that is basically my bullish narrative. I was feeling bullish today. I don't care about short-term price. If the price is lower by the time you're watching, fine. I don't really care. I'll buy the dip. But man, am I starting to get excited for this, and it all feels like it's finally coming together. Now, just talking about a little bit of altcoin news super quick. We do have Coinbase Custody saying that they're looking to list maybe some of these tokens. Take a screenshot. I'm not going to go through all of it. Does this mean that they're going to pump? I think that the Coinbase and Binance listings don't have as much effect on the pumps as they used to, but, it could still have an effect. And this is for Coinbase Custody, keep in mind. So some of them on here, we got, Aave, Ampleforth, Curve, Elrond Gold is on here. Neo is actually on here, as well as Ontology. There's a few stable coins. Wrapped Bitcoin, I think they should add that. I think that's a good addition. VeChain, Tron. So yeah, there you go. New ciphers on here as well. And I did just want to make one little bit of a Polkadot update. I know, guys. But I want to talk about Injective. So they are the guys that are having the sale on Binance. They're the latest IEO. And it's interesting because they're dealing with decentralized derivatives, but this sale is happening on a centralized exchange. So it does tell me that we are going to see a bit of that crossover. We're going to see a bit of the marriage between centralized and decentralized, because I think at the end of the day, we know that it's not going to be 100% either way. But they do say, according to this, that they're excited to announce that they integrated with Polkadot to expand Injective's decentralized cross-chain trading capabilities. This integration will be made possible by Moonbeam, which provides an Ethereum-compatible smart contract platform powered by Polkadot that makes it easy to build natively interoperable applications. Now, scrolling down here, they say, as Ethereum and Polkadot are two of the giants in Layer 1 space today, the opportunities for our cross-chain derivatives DEX are truly limitless. And also talking about Moonbeam, they are one of the first parachains on Polkadot to offer full Ethereum compatibility, which allows Solidity developers to deploy unmodified Ethereum smart contracts on the Polkadot network. The Moonbeam team has been building rapidly and is supported by veteran tech talent with a strong track record. With the aid of Moonbeam, Injective looks to become the first Layer 2 DEX to enable cross-chain capabilities across Ethereum and Polkadot. And this is just another reason that I'm super excited for the Polkadot ecosystem. And also, I do think that decentralized derivatives will be big. I think we're kind of getting to that level. We're not 100% there yet. Kind of like we didn't really have a good DEX. Then Uniswap version 1 came around. It was all right. Uniswap version 2 came out. Really, really good. Still not perfect. Version 3, I think we're going to have it. So we are getting there, guys. And also, shout out to everyone over at Crypto Atlas. Thank you so much for everyone who has been subscribing. You guys rock. It's a really awesome place. If you guys haven't checked it out, for sharing the things that you're interested in, you can list different products. You can send them to your friends. Check it out. Anyway, 500th follower, Santosh Kalakonda, congratulations, buddy. You do win the Ledger Nano S. So, what you got to do, hit me up either in the official About Me section or in my Telegram group. Do not go in the comments below. You guys know there are lots of scammers down there. They use my thumbnail, or they use my avatar. They pretend to be me. I literally can't keep up with them. I try my best, but YouTube is not too great with the scams. But that's a topic for another day. So thank you so much for everyone for coming back to the channel. You guys rock. I love you. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend into the start of your week. Things could get a little bit crazy. Having a look, like I said, at Bitcoin, we have hit the top of this resistance a few times. We could have a little bit of a pullback, maybe down to the low $11,000 levels. But ultimately, I'm super bullish on Bitcoin. And yeah, if we do get another 30% crash, dip, that could literally be the buying opportunity of a lifetime. And drop your comments below. What do you think? Do you think we're going to have a new all-time high by the end of this year? Possible, right? I'm iffy too. I'm a little iffy too, but it is possible. So by next year, absolutely. Q1's going to happen. It is going to happen, guys. Get ready for the blast off to the moon. That is it for me. thank you so much for coming back. My name is K-Dub. This is CryptoZombie. Until next time, stay crypto. And of course, peace out.